Hello everyone. Welcome to the video lecture on intermediate paper number 5, Business Law and Ethics of CMA Inter. Previously, we had discussion on chapter number 7, that is Factories Act 1948. We have quite covered all the important topics in the previous lecture. Today, the same chapter, we will be discussing the important questions from a examination point of view. So let's get into it. What is the main object of a Factories Act? It is to ensure adequate safety measures and to promote health and welfare of employed workers in the factory. Definition of competent person you can go through. Defines expression competent person in relation to any provision of this act means a person or an institution recognized as such by the chief inspector for the purpose of carrying out test, examination and inspection required to be done in factory under the act. What is a hazardous process? Defines the expression hazardous process as any process or activity in relation to an industry specified in first schedule unless special care is taken care raw materials and therein the immediate or finished goods byproducts waste or effluents thereof cause material impairment to health of the people engaged in or connected therewith or result in pollution of general environment. So all definition you can go through. What is a manufacturing process? This is quite repeatedly asked. What is a manufacturing process? So students can have a fair idea of the definition. So it is the making, altering, repairing, ornamenting, finishing, packing, oiling, washing, cleaning, breaking up, demolishing, or otherwise treating or adapting any article or substance with a view to its use, sale, transport, delivery, or disposal, pumping oil, water, sewage, or any other substance, generating, transforming, transmitting power, or composing type of printing, printing by letter, press, lithography, photogravure, gravure, or similar process, or bookbinding, constructing, reconstructing, repairing, refitting, fitting, or breaking up ships or vessels, or preserving or storing any article in cold storage. Who is a worker? The term worker as a person employed directly or by through any agency, including contractor, with or without the knowledge of principal employer, whether for remuneration or not, in any manufacturing process or in cleaning any part of the machinery or premises used for a manufacturing process, or in any other kind of work incidental to connected with manufacturing process or subject of the manufacturing process, but does not include any member of the armed forces of the union. This is perhaps one of the most important definition. How do you identify whether Factories Act is applicable? You check whether your establishment come under the definition of factory, wherein 10 or more factory means wherein a premises wherein 10 or more workers are working or were working in any day in the preceding 12 months in any part of which a manufacturing process is being carried on with the aid of power for an ordinary cost thereof, or 20 or more person are working or were working on any day preceding 12 months in any manufacturing process being carried on without the aid of power. So if there is aid of power, minimum 10 people are working. Without aid of power, minimum 20 people are working. Then that establishment come under the purview of factory. With the exemption, it will not include mine under Mines Act, a mobile unit belonging to armed forces, railway running shed, hotel, restaurant, and eating places. Occupier. Occupier is the person who has the ultimate control over the affairs of the factory. Is the boss. What are the duties of occupier? Every occupier shall ensure is reasonable practice the health, safety, and welfare of all workers. So, how does government ensure Factories Act is properly complied by factories? He appoint an inspector. The government will appoint an inspector who will enter into any place to be believed factory, make examination of premises, plant and machinery article, inquire into the accident or dangerous occurrence where there is resulting any body injury, disability, or any type, and take on spot statements of any person which he may consider necessary for such inquiry, require the production of any document relating to factory, seeks take of copy of registers, records, or documents, take possession of any articles to exercise such other power as may be prescribed. Certified surgeon. So a state government may appoint a qualified medical practitioner to certify surgeon for the purpose of the act within such local limits for such factory class or description of factory as it may assign to them respectively. The examination and certification of young person. The duties of surgeons are the examination and certification of young person, the examination of person engaged in factory in such factory dangerous occupation, the exercising of such medical supervision as may be prescribed by any factory or class of description of factories. There are various welfare measures as per Factories Act, which includes health of the workers in working in the working environment, safety of workers, welfare of workers, working hours of adults, employment of young children, annual leave with wages. Health measures to be taken considering the health aspects of worker. The following are to be taken care by the occupier of the factory: cleanliness, disposal of waste, ventilation, dust and fume, artificial humidification, overcrowding, lighting, drinking water, lateral and urine, spittoons. So from here onwards, there are certain points you should be well aware. One more question can come. For example, you should ensure if there is a whitewash, there should be white. If it is a building whitewashed, it should be done every 14 months. If it is painted, once in 6 months, once in 5 months, 5 years. Likewise, you can take note of this important points in each of these topics. There should be proper facility for waste and effluents, ventilation and temperature, proper facility required. Dust and fume should be facility, artificial humidification. So there should, for every 14.2 cubic meter, one person should be having space. So there should be a space of 14.2 cubic meter for every individual working. Lighting facility should be there. Drinking water facility should be there. If there is more than 250 employees working for hot weather, there should be cold drinking water. Laterals and urinal facility should be there. If there are more than 250 employees working at the lateral urinal accommodation shall be provided. If there is a facility more than 250 employees working, that facility should be provided. And also you should make sure lateral and urinal shall be washed and cleaned once in every 7 days. Spittoon should be given. Safety measures are to be taken. What are they? Fencing of machinery, work on near machinery in motion, employment of young person on dangerous machines, striking gear and devices for cutting off power, self-acting machines, casing of new machinery, prohibition of employment of women and children near cotton openers, lifting of machine, revolving machine, floor stain and means of access, etc. Hazardous process. The state government may, for the purpose of advising it, consider applying for grant or permission for initial location of factory involving or hazardous process for expansion of any such factory, appoint a site operational committee. Responsibility occupier, lay down detailed policy with respect to health and safety of worker, disclose all information regarding danger including health hazards, to draw up on-site emergency plan, to lay down measures for handling, usage, transportation, and storage of hazardous substances, So, Chapter 5 of Factories Act provide various welfare measures, including washing facility, facility for drying clothes, sitting, first aid appliance, canteen, shelters, crunches, appointment of welfare officers. Should provide washing facility, facility for drying clothes, for sitting, first aid appliances. Where in any fact 150 or workers at a time, one time in factory, each first aid work shall be kept in charge of separate reasonable person who hold a certificate in first aid treatment. In a factory where the more than 500 workers are employed, an ambulance shall be provided. Where more than 250 employees are working, canteen shall be provided. Where more than 30 women are working, crunches shall be there. And a person, woman shall be in charge. Where there are more than 500 employee working, welfare officers shall be appointed. These are all one points you can expect. Working hours provides that period of working of adult in a factory shall be fixed that no period shall exceed 5 years and worker shall work more than 5 years before he has a interval of at least half an hour. Maximum that person can work 10.5 hours in a day. No adult shall be required to work, allowed to work in a factory more than 48 hours in any week. How is the holiday working? For every first day of the week shall be holiday. Unless he has will or have a holiday for a whole day on one of the 3 days immediately preceding, before or after the said day. You shall give compensatory holiday if a person is asked to work. So, shift we are speaking. A holiday for a whole day shall mean in case a period of 24 consecutive hours beginning and the shift end. In case a person is working for more than 9 hours, for every hour a person shall be provided twice the ordinary wage. Double employment is prohibited under Factories Act. You shall maintain register of adult workers. Employment of women. So you shall not allow a woman to work except 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. With the approval of state government, you can make a woman work 10 p.m. between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. So a child shall who has not completed 14 years shall not be allowed to work. If a person child has arrived 14 years, that person with the certificate of fitness may be allowed to work under certain conditions. Working hour of children is 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Similarly, register of children of work child worker shall be maintained. Leave policy for adult. If a worker has worked 240 days or more in a factory, for every 20 days, 1 day leave shall be provided. In case of a child, for every 15 days, 1 day leave shall be provided. If a person has not taken leave, that leave can be carried forwarded to next year. You should give minimum 15 days advance notice. Conditions are mentioned. During leave, wages shall be provided if it is coming under the limit. If leave is not less than for 4 days, advance payment of wage shall be given. If a person is in having death, superannuation, or something, you should be providing that person encashment within second day of end of the work. A penalty is mentioned. If any violation is found, imprisonment up to 2 years, fine which may extend to 1 year, 1 lakh, and 1,000 rupees per day if contravention continues. If a violation continues means imprisonment up to 3 years, fine up to not up to 2 lakhs, and fine per day 10,000. Fine 10,000 to 2 lakh. Also, if you obstruct any inspection of inspector, you shall pay penalty up to 10,000. The most biggest fine penalty come under hazardous process, which has tenure up to 10 years and 2 lakhs. Every offense of worker may be subject to fine of 500 rupee. If any child is permitted to do double employment, his or her parents, guardian shall be liable for penalty up to 1,000 rupees, subject to certain conditions. That's all. We have detailedly covered this chapter in previously. Students can come review that video for further details. Thank you.